So I'm going to show you how to make this. This just looks like a line, but it's actually 3 lines, and they were cut at separate times, and in between each cut, this whole piece was moved and then placed back into the laser cutter. But you can see that they look like exactly one line. So I'm going to show you how to do this, how to get things aligned perfectly, even though the stock that you're cutting on has to be moved. So what you need for this technique is an L bracket and some magnets to hold it down. And then the way that you cut your piece or engrave your piece is you place it down and you push it into the corner. I generally recommend to actually finish by using one finger to sort of push it in that direction, so that you get an even sort of positioning. You can see that this actually can bend, right? Or it can tilt up and down. And so if you just push in this direction, it'll sort of keep it flat. Well, not necessarily flat, but like oriented the same in space. And also if you use just your fingers here to like push it, that can be somewhat suboptimal because you're pressing on these edges and your finger can sort of catch on it or whatever because of friction. So I generally recommend bringing it in like this and then just sort of pushing it like that to keep it flat. And then you cut it. And then if you need to remove it, whenever you put it back, you just do the same thing and it'll be in basically the exact same spot. So here's what that looks like, and you can see that it aligns everything perfectly and works really nicely. So another technique that you can use is to use registration pins so that you can align a spoil board back here with the piece that you want to cut or engrave. The holes that you're going to put into your stock just need to fit onto the stock. It doesn't really matter where they are, as long as they fit onto your stock somewhere, and as long as the holes in your spoil board are the same, like the exact same, then everything should be fine. So the way that you do this is just like in the registration pins video. You would put your the way that you would do this is just like in the registration pin video. You would take a registration pin, put it through your piece, and then mount it to the spoil board, and you do the same thing with the other registration pin and the other hole. And once those two are together, that is not gonna move. And you can see it wiggles a very small amount. You can see on here that it wiggles, like the nail that I'm using as the registration pin moves a little bit. So to deal with that, you just sort of push it in one direction, and that makes sure that all of the play from the angular slop of the pins is forced in one direction, and it will be consistent across cuts. So as long as you sort of push it in one direction, you want to push in a line that's sort of perpendicular to both of them. If you push in this direction, you can still get slop that way. But if you push this way, you see there is no slop anymore. And so as long as you don't sort of pick it up when you take your finger off, you're fine. Again, you can do like in the previous section where you press down and you push like this on the surface. And so then as you need to cut different patterns onto this or whatever, you can take it out, move it around as you need to, and as long as you don't move your spoil board, things should be fine. The spoil board has a lot of leverage relative to these, so you gotta be careful.